and you're in the bedroom as a guy, and you want to be the leader. Again, this is not just physically, but this is also mentally. If you go there first, she's going to follow you. So if you're feeling confident and comfortable, she's going to feel confident and comfortable around you in that situation with you. If you feel nervous and unsure of what you're doing, she's going to feel nervous and unsure, and then that's going to make her feel unsafe. A woman feels a lot more safe in the bedroom with the guy who knows what the hell he's doing. And then, oddly enough, those kind of guys are actually able to do things to her that she enjoys, which might be a bit more extreme. But that comes down to him being confident in what he's doing and leading her there confidently and with self-esteem, and not being skittish, like you said, not half-stepping, not doubting himself. Because the moment he doubts himself, that she starts to doubt him in the bedroom, and she starts to feel unsafe.
How much truth do you think there is to the idea that women need a lot of foreplay and that women won't enjoy a quickie? And because that's said a lot, without bringing up my personal experience, I'm trying to be objective and just say, like, how much truth do you think there is to that?
Women can enjoy quickies. It's about the passion, right? You can have great passionate sex and it can be quick. The emotion of sex is a lot more important for women.
That's right.
And that idea of, like, so she might not actually get off. She might not actually climax and reach orgasm if it's a quickie.
It's a quickie.
But it's still a passionate,
exchange,
like lust-filled moment. I can't keep my hands off you, like whatever. She's still gonna enjoy that experience and have an emotional experience and remember that.
I always say, like,
fun.
women, like, when things build in us, like if you start a night, the way you look at her, we build, and I'm not saying we have to do that all the time. Like, we just had that conversation about a quickie, but if she can build throughout a night, like, the end game for her is going to be so much more powerful than if it's just like boom. Guys, I feel like, can build very quickly. Women take a minute to kind of, I feel like all the blood has to circulate, as I like to say, but it's a powerful thing if you can get a female to build throughout a night like that. The end of the night,
yeah, basically guaranteed way to get a woman to climax is to tease her into it. There's mechanical things that absolutely work, yes.
Yeah.
But as a tried and tested way, some women are just a lot easier to make climax than other women. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
It comes down to a bunch of different factors. But in general, if you just start off super slow and build up sexual tension from prior to the kiss all evening, like you said, and then eventually, like, even when you get to the bedroom, you establish that dynamic of making her chase and making her beg. That is going to change things.
Oh yeah.
I always hear women say this whenever I ask them, what do you like in a guy in the bedroom? It's like, someone who communicates. No, you don't.
No,
you really don't, though.
That's what they say.
They say that. They'll always say communicate or communication. They'll say communication.
It's not time for a debate, honey. It's not a discussion.
But here's my interpretation, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. Here's my interpretation of what they actually mean when women will say they value communication in the bedroom. They want a man who can read her body language properly. So then she doesn't actually have to say anything. He should be able to pick up on her body language, on her vibe. She's comfortable with what I'm doing right now, or she just tensed up a little bit. Cool, we're not going to go that way. Try something different now. That explains to her, okay, this guy can tell if I'm uncomfortable. Big green tick. He's got a bit of experience, obviously, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to tell this. That's another big green tick. So there's all these really subtle things, and a lot of guys these days are very, very worried about Me Too allegations and whatnot in the bedroom and things like that. And I can completely understand why they would be concerned about this. But one of the best ways to kind of get around that and avoid that entirely is not to be afraid of women, not to be afraid of the bedroom, and not to be afraid of pursuing things that are a bit more edgy, right? Because they're actually very enjoyable for your partner. But more to understand body language cues in the women when you're in bedroom. So okay, I know that I won't push a boundary, because you don't want to ever go past someone's boundary in the bedroom in that way. And look, if you make a mistake, if you do, that's fine. Just don't go there again. Pull back and change direction, right? But guys coming into the bedroom being very, very timid and afraid like that isn't helping them from the very start.
Do you think that men understand women? Do you feel like you have a solid hold on women?
I think you can prove that through results. Am I in a happy relationship? Yeah, I'm in multiple happy relationships. The average guy is not. So would you say the average guy does not understand women? Yeah, I think the average guy has been deliberately misled about female nature from childhood, through things like Disney movies, through things like Hallmark fantasy rom-coms, through things like Friends, like all this stuff.
I watched a lot of Friends.
Deliberately giving men the wrong impression of women and what women are attracted to, what women will respect in a partner. That's a big one. Women don't respect their man, that relationship is trash. Okay? I think the average man has unfortunately been susceptible to a lot of brainwashing, which is designed to screw over the family unit and make men and women very combative against each other. Because that's obviously the world we're living in right now in America.
Guys are afraid to be men.
Yeah. Feminism has disincentivized men from being gentlemen.
It's all backwards. Can we fix it?
Yes. Yes, you totally can fix it.
How do you fix it though? Even if you give advice to men, get them back on the right track, if women are getting what they're getting, fed to them, spoon fed to them all day long, is that dynamic ever going to get fixed?
Well, okay, the solution from the man's perspective is you ignore those women and you pursue the ones that are actually acting feminine and like women again. Your attention is valuable. So, okay, I only give attention and I'm only a gentleman to the women that deserve to be a gentleman to.
Does that work if
on a societal level, if every dude started acting that way, if men actually started opening the doors for, like, you know,
women who deserved it.
I mean, look, it's hard to tell if a woman deserves it just by looking at her, I suppose.
Right.
But in general, if men were more gentlemanly and more chivalric, like the classical examples you might think of, towards women who actually deserved it, I think women would start, you know, acting a bit more feminine and stuff. But that goes both ways. Women incentivize men's behavior. Women through sex. So, okay, when you lower the barrier to entry for sex in general, okay, what's the guy need to do to get sex? Okay,
nothing.
Like, not really that much anymore. Like he used to have to like give you like 8 goats and stuff,
right?
And you know, give that
pick
to
you up
your
at the
father,
house, shake
like,
your dad's hand,
all this stuff.
Be scared of the dad in the house. Yes,
I saw
layers deep.
In a guy hit me up just yesterday, actually, with this question, with a very similar scenario. So his scenario was his girl was being kind of like bugged by a guy at her work. She was telling her boyfriend this, right? That, oh, this guy keeps hitting on me at work. I keep telling him to you know, go away, whatever. And he hit me up. He'd already responded to her, and he sent me the screenshots of what he'd said to her, and he was asking me for advice. And he'd responded with something like, I don't like that you're getting this energy from him because my last girl said that there was nothing wrong. There was nothing happening between her and her friend at work, and then she slept with him behind my back, something like that. He got cheated on. He told her basically that his last girlfriend cheated on him with a friend from work. Synopsis. Okay. Terrible idea on his half to reveal that insecurity.
Right.
Really.
Of course.
He's just given her a weapon.
Of course.
That she is now going to use against him later on to poke at him and make him jealous anytime she has an argument with him, anytime he upsets her, anything bad. Oh, really? So-and-so at work said my hair was nice today, or whatever, right?
All right. Oh, you don't like that about me? That's so funny, because John says that that's like one of my biggest assets. So it's so weird that you guys think differently about that.
But here's what I broke down for this guy as well. This example. He actually said to me, do you think this is a problem? Do you think there's anything going on here? And I said to him, if there was something going on between her and the guy she was working with, she wouldn't have told you about it in the first place.
Right.
She would have kept that shit a secret.
That's right.
But because she told you about it, here's what it tells you. She's trying to make you jealous. She's trying to use that as a weapon against you. Now, I'm not saying she's doing this consciously, like, you know, meticulously planning out what she's going to do. It's just female nature.
I think a lot of women do it consciously.
Sure, there's ones that do it consciously, but in that, maybe she did. She was Ukrainian, maybe she did. I don't know. They're kind of feisty like that. But
women know what they're doing a lot of the times. You know, that's a thing that people
and they'll
say.
pretend like they don't.
They pretend like they don't, and it's like, oh, women can do no wrong. Women know when they do sneaky stuff or when they do stuff to make men jealous. When women do stuff to make men jealous, we know.
Yeah.